walks down Lover's Lane.
All right, folks, we're back on the K-Zone Morning Commute. It's the K-Zone, 105.3 FM and AM 1280 WPKZ. My name is Noah Hatton. I'm here this morning with Zach Austin, my tag team partner.
Morning.
Good morning, Zach.
I like being the tag team partner.
Yeah, that's what
fun.
Sherman always called me.
Yeah,
His
I like
tag
that.
team partner. Yeah.
Very fun.
Like wrestling.
Yes, that's right.
Today we're
We're
with
wrestling
Megan
with the
MacBride.
scams.
Yeah, we're wrestling scams. Yes, we're wrestling money out of the dirty, dirty paws of scam artists with the one, the only, the indomitable Megan MacBride on the K-Zone Morning Show. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Noah. You looked at me there for a second, like I think you might have forgot my name a little bit, but
No, it was I was gonna go on a thread that sounded a little odd, so
I feel you.
I went,
I feel
wait
you.
a second, Noah, don't say that. Go with something else. Yeah,
love it. Well, thank
that
you.
was self-control, is what that was.
I love it.
Restraint.
I love it. Well, thank you for having me on. As always, Megan MacBride, as you introduced me, I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications at the Better Business Bureau, brand champion, and I do a lot. So
Right.
I'm always happy to come on every other Wednesday with you to talk about various scams. Last time we were on, we talked a little bit about the Real ID scams and what's out there, and that there are no legitimate sites that you have to really be on the DMV site or you have to go in the DMV office. There's no other sites out there or texts or calls that you should receive in regard to the Real ID.
I don't have the Real ID. I don't have a passport. I just have my driver's license.
Are you even a citizen?
I'm screwed.
I hope you don't plan on getting onto an airplane anytime
I hope I don't
soon.
run into ice.
We're going to send you back to Vermont where you belong.
They're going to send me to... Yeah.
Well, so I guess for those listening, though, it's encouraged to probably get your Real ID if you do plan to travel soon.
Yes.
I have mine. I'm from New Hampshire, so I still have my Real ID from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So.
And just to be clear, the Real ID thing is you either need a Real ID or your license and your passport in order to travel domestically and enter a federal building.
Correct.
So that's the deal. It's not like you have to have it.
Yeah.
It's just the new way they want to do things, and it's eventually probably going to become have to. But right now, it's phase one.
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to just be, a safety thing, and kind of getting into that here. The BBB always is trying to find ways to protect our peeps, to protect our people, because there's a lot of scams. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the healthcare scams that are out there, especially ones that are hitting vulnerable populations like the older adults and the elder community. One of BBB's missions is on the consumer side. We have the Consumer Education Foundation, and with that we are constantly trying to plan various scam presentations to notify the public. And I would say the majority of the demographic audience that goes to these events are the older adults, because a lot of these people, they don't have the same online skills that we do. They grew up in a different generation. So it's important for us as grandkids, kids, friends to kind of protect these older populations. So
Us as native technologists.
Exactly. And something that has been coming on is healthcare scams that are after your personal information. So, and, this is a little general, so healthcare scams, they do vary. And this particular one that I want to talk about is the scam will typically start with an email or a text message or a phone call. So, and we've seen a lot of those in all the scams I talk about, is you receive an unsolicited message of some kind in regards to your account, right? And in this most recent version, the quote-unquote agent requires a customer to answer a survey before receiving a new healthcare card. In one common version, so sorry, I have my nails on today. The agent tells you that he or she needs to update account information to send a new medical card. In another version, the scammer asks you for an account number in exchange for free equipment or services. Now, I do believe, and I don't know how it works, there are services out there that provide medical equipment for people, and there are scams out there in regards to that where people try to charge you, where I believe, and at least in the state of Mass, a lot of the equipment you can get, if not for free, at a very cheap price because of what you're using it for. So this is just another example of someone trying to call and get your personal information. Sure, you didn't give your credit card over the phone to get this new medical ID card, right? But they have all of your information now, your name, your email, your phone, if they ask for your Social Security card. And those are things they might need to ask in the reality if you ever do need a real medical ID card, but you're not talking to the right person. And that's where they get you, and that's where it's scary. So how do we avoid things like this? Never trust a name or a number. So con artists using the official sounding names or masks. It's spoofing.
Is that a RuPaul quote? My God.
Never.
Never trust a name or a number.
It should be. It should be the new, it has to be our new BBB thing.
Yeah.
We want to offer trust in the marketplace, but in order to gain trust, we need to go in with a little bit of a skeptic eye, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So hang up that phone and go to the official website.
Girlfriend. Yeah.
Let's snap. We're ready.
We're ready.
Never actually share that personal identifiable information.
Yeah.
So honestly, like when somebody calls you, question them. Why are you calling? What's your customer ID number? Where do you work?
Whenever, even if it's just someone trying to sell something, honestly, I really give them a hard time.
You have to.
When they call here, I go, do you already do business with us? Well, then you should have our business email, and that's the best way to reach us. Do you have
Exactly. Like, there's so many things. I mean, I get it in the moment, and I think where these scammers really get you, it's that fear tactic, right?
Yeah,
In the moment, you're terrified. But places like your insurance company, your medical company, the DMV, government agencies, they're not going to call, the IRS, they're not going to call and threaten you and start, like, saying if you don't do this, you're going to lose this. They're never going to do that. You're going to get an official letter. And sometimes with these services, for example, if you got a medical ID in the past, how did you do it last time? Did you go to the building? Did you have a phone number that you called? Like, verify those things, So it's just important to be mindful of that. So, and exactly like what we were saying about the real ID, guard your government issued numbers. I think the government is trying to I'm hoping the Real ID is going to help crack down on some of these scams because of how legitimate your ID is with the Real ID. So, safeguard your information and know the signs. So,
Megan MacBride, she is the Director of Marketing and Communications at the Better Business Bureau of Central New England. It is 8:19. We're going to take a quick break. All right, folks, we're back on the radio on the K-Zone. It's 105.3 FM and AM 1280 WPKC. My name is Noah Hatton. I'm here this morning with my tag team partner, Zach Austin, on the radio.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. And we're also here with Megan MacBride. She's the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Better Business Bureau of Central New England. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Noah. And brand champion.
And brand champion.
And that is a legit title,
yeah.
By the way. I'm not just saying that. Every BBB has to have a brand champion. And it's really important, if you're a business owner, to stay compliant with your brand. And, that's how you run your business, right? So
absolutely. So we were talking about scams before we took a break. Where were we at, Megan?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the general medical ID scams. Now I want to talk more about how Social Security recipients can stay alert of scams and the cost of living rising, which we know is happening. So every year we know that the Social Security Administration, they approve the cost of living adjustment, and this year it's increased by 2.5% in 2025. So if you know somebody, I know the three of us, we are too early in our careers to collect our Social Security benefits yet. Got probably like 50 years left. Knowing me, I'm probably never going to retire. But there's another, scam. So this is probably another one of those things where we talked about the medical general scams. This is kind of similar where in the Social Security front, scammers will contact you once again by phone, text, or email. And this quote-unquote Social Security representative claims that you must apply for your cost of living increase. And they might ask you to visit a website, send information via text or email, or speak with them on the phone to get said benefits. And the scammer will ask you to verify your identity by sharing your personal details, such as full name, address, and or Social Security number. And they may even ask you for your bank account information, claiming
Yikes.
that the representative will deposit the extra money directly into your account.
Lies.
Absolute tomfoolery.
Yes.
Just baffling.
Yes.
But unfortunately, this is something, the older generation, they may not know because they
right. Well, they came from an era where America was really a high trust society.
Exactly.
And people, there was less villainy out there, I think, and there was also less access to people with such immediacy. And so they're just not used to people being able to contact them who otherwise wouldn't have been able to like 50 years ago.
Exactly.
And so they hear somebody calls them up and they're like, oh, you're trying to help me. You need my info so I can get my money.
Yeah, and like with the economy right now and the cost of living, like everyone understands that it has been higher than it's been several years ago. So everyone's a little panicked and they, and I'm sure somebody who's older, who's retired and is depending on this Social Security benefit, they want to make sure that they're getting this information. But again, it goes back to that scare tactic, right?